Hi everyone and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're going to look at VTubers, which are...
VTubers.
Yes.
Not YouTubers.
VTubers.
VTubers. The letter V and tuber. So this is, I guess, kind of like a YouTuber?
Yeah, but they're virtual. They are animated characters.
V for virtual.
Right.
Okay.
Do you have any favorite kind of cartoon characters or animated characters?
I don't have a favorite VTuber since I'm just learning about what this is right now.
Gotcha.
Favorite cartoon characters? Well, I guess I'd have to say a lot of The Simpsons.
Okay.
You know, there's some great characters on that show. When I was a little kid, I used to love the classic Looney Tunes.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and those guys, the Roadrunner and Tweety Bird. I love the music. I love the voices. So those are some really good ones. How about you?
Oh, I'd go for maybe, do you ever watch Thundercats?
No.
I love
I know
Thundercats as a kid.
I don't know if I ever watched it. But yeah, I know that one. Very popular.
I love the Thundercats as a kid. So yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Futurama by the Simpsons creator?
Sure.
Zap Brannigan is a genius character.
Okay.
He's super funny. Everything he says is just really cracks me up every time. So yeah, not too many from these days. I don't watch a lot of that kind of stuff on TV anymore, but yeah, there's definitely some very fond memories of watching cartoons and animated characters as a kid. None of them are on YouTube though. Who is? Let's find out by reading through day one of our article.
Reading.
The unusual world of VTubers. Many people seeking virtual success find it on YouTube. The platform has introduced the world to famous internet personalities. More recently, however, a new variety called VTubers has appeared. Let's dive into their strange world. VTuber is short for virtual YouTuber. A VTuber is an animated internet personality voiced by a real person. This is possible through motion capture technology, which is used to film a person moving around while tracking their movements. From what people see on the screen, VTubers do the same things as other YouTubers, except they look like cartoon characters. The most famous VTuber is Kizuna Ai. She dresses in a cute white and pink outfit and interacts with her audience as if she were a real vlogger. She talks to the camera, responds to comments, and plays online games with friends. This teenage girl has 3 million followers. People who enjoy watching anime can't resist the charm of VTubers. That's why they have become popular in recent years. Audiences are drawn to their extreme personalities, and they often have exciting backstories.
So, our article begins and says, many people seeking virtual success find it on YouTube. So here we're talking about things being in the virtual world, and this means they take place in an online or computer-generated world rather than the real world. So we could use it for any kind of online computer stuff. So virtual success means kind of YouTube success here.
Okay, so these are not people you'd meet walking down the street in real life, people who only exist in computer games or on the internet.
They'd be
or
virtual
something
characters,
like that. We also see virtual, of course, in VR games, virtual reality, when you wear those special glasses or goggles with a little TV screen and it's like you're in the internet, you're in the game. So that's the kind of idea that we think of when we hear this word virtual being used. And then it says, the platform has introduced the world to famous internet personalities. Absolutely. A lot of these platforms that people use today have introduced us to a lot of new things that weren't around 5 or 10 years ago. Now, when we use this word platform, again, when talking about the computer world, the internet world, the world of virtual stuff or cyber stuff, what we're talking about basically is a major piece of software that runs other apps. When you think of a platform, you think of maybe I.O. iOS for your phone. You might think of YouTube. You might think of iTunes. You might think of, Steam game networks, things like that.
Instagram, Twitch,
all those types of things.
TikTok,
social media platforms, business platforms, efficiency platforms, all sorts of things. So it's kind of a program, but we often use it to run other programs or to host other types of things as well. So here's a good example of one everyone knows. Facebook is still the most popular social media platform on the internet.
Yep, and of course YouTube is one of these big platforms. Anybody can make YouTube videos and start kind of getting followings. You have to do pretty well. If you go back in our magazines, there's an article about being a successful YouTuber, but that's for people. What we have here is something a little different. The article says, more recently, however, a new variety called VTubers has appeared. So a variety of something is one particular type of a general thing. It could be, maybe if you look at a movie, it could be the different movie genres. So one variety or genre of movie is comedy, another is horror, that kind of thing. You could talk about sport, one type or variety of sport, team games, just running games, kind of fighting sports. All of those different sports are different varieties. So for example, we could say there is a huge variety of sports in the Summer Olympics. Everything from archery to boxing to soccer to just
sailing.
Running races, bike races.
And soon breakdancing.
Oh yeah, there's new sports coming in all the time.
And if there's a variety of things, that tells us that there's a lot of different types of this kind of thing. So let's learn more, or as it says in our article, let's dive into their strange world. We're going to dive into the strange world of VTubers. And this phrasal verb, dive into, basically just means learn more about something. Probably something that you don't know a lot about yet, something you're kind of new to, and we're going to introduce you to it, not just by telling you one or two things or explaining it in one or two sentences. No, we're probably going to give you a good amount of basic information, so hopefully at the end of it you'll know quite a bit more than you do now. But we're going to learn, explore, and discover about VTubers in this case. We're going to dive into it. And a good way to dive into something is to find out why it's called that. Where it got its name from.
Sure. Well, we kind of covered this already in our introduction. The article says VTuber is short for virtual YouTuber. And we say there it's short for. If something is short for something else, this phrase is when we want to present something's shorter name. And we especially use it if that short name is the common name we use. Very few people say the full word television, but a lot of people will say TV. So TV is short for television.
All right, so virtual YouTuber. But yes, we will use the term VTuber. And then it says, a VTuber is an animated internet personality voiced by a real person. All right, so we all know that YouTubers are internet personalities, right? Real people who tell you about the music they like or the clothes they're wearing or the makeup that they're putting on. And, people develop a fan base and they develop a relationship with this internet personality. So a VTuber is very similar, except it's animated, more like a cartoon, but it's voiced by a real person. So we're kind of taking the world of cartoon and the world of real internet personalities and we're mixing them together. But yes, when we say animated, we think of cartoons. We think of animated pictures, things like that. So when we talk about animated, we're talking about drawings that move. Basically, you take a bunch of drawings and then when you film it in a certain way, it looks like the drawings are moving. Think of cartoons.
Okay, so how do we get these VTubers? How do we get these kind of cartoon or animated characters with human voices? Well, the article explains this is possible through motion capture technology, which is used to film a person moving around while tracking their movements. This has been a pretty popular film technique for the last kind of 20-odd years.
Yeah, computer games too, use it.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings with Gollum was one of the big first kind of breaking into this new technology.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
The apes in it. We're all
Marvel uses a lot of motion capture for the different characters that aren't human, like the Hulk is motion capture, so are a bunch of others. Loads of cameras follow something, their movements are recreated on a computer.
Oh, interesting. And then from what people see on the screen, VTubers do the same things as other YouTubers, except they look like cartoon characters. So these aren't sort of drawn out days or weeks or months beforehand like cartoons often are. These are filmed live in person, except instead of seeing the real person, you're seeing this cartoon character. That's the magic where the computers come in. And a character is basically someone or a person, something like a person in some kind of fictional story, in a movie, in a play, in a book, in a television show. Harry Potter's a character, James Bond, Sherlock Holmes. These are all characters from famous books and films and movies and things like that. So these are people who might seem real. You might know a lot about them. They might have a history and a story that you're aware of, but the point is they're not real people. For example, Katniss Everdeen is the main character in the Hunger Games books and films. And if you're a fan of those, you know a lot about her, but you'll never actually meet her in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what characters do we meet on VTube, as I guess we could call it,
yes.
I suppose? The article says the most famous VTuber is Kizuna AI.
Oh.
Right, what do we know about her?
Well, she dresses in a cute white and pink outfit and interacts with her audience as if she were a real vlogger. Oh, very cool. Yeah, she kind of looks like a Japanese anime character. She wears a cute outfit, but she interacts with people. That's the difference, of course, between a cartoon character who just talks and tells a story. With this character, you can actually talk to her and she will respond like a real vlogger or like a real person on YouTube would maybe. And when we talk about an outfit, we're just talking about her clothes. The clothes that she wears, so they're white, they're pink, they're kind of in that cute Japanese style. So your outfit can be something fairly normal, like we're wearing today. It could be a Halloween costume. That would be a slightly special outfit. If you work in a special job, you might have a uniform. Your outfit for work would be different from the outfit you would wear on the weekend or the outfit you would wear to a party or something like that. We're just talking about a set of clothes.
Yep, and we know that Kizuna AI interacts with people. So if you interact with somebody, you kind of engage with them. You have some sort of conversation where there's back and forth. You say something, they reply, they make a comment, you respond to it. There's a bit of action going both ways. For example, we could say, before the concert, the singer spent 20 minutes interacting with some lucky fans backstage. The singer talked to them, maybe showed them a few things, let them take a picture. It wasn't like there was a distance and nothing they did affected each other. They were in the same room, interacting like normal people. Now, we'll explain exactly how she interacts with people in a moment. Let's just look quickly at the phrase as if. She interacts with people as if she were a real vlogger. If when we use as if, it's kind of like saying as if this was true, as if this were the case. So it's almost like she really is a vlogger, not a animated character. We use as if to talk about what we call the hypothetical, a kind of imaginary situation which seems to be true. You can find a bit more about this in our magazine article. But how does she interact with people?
Well, in a very kind of natural way. It's just that she looks like a cartoon character. But yeah, she seems like a real person. She talks to the camera, responds to comments, and plays online games with friends. I watched one of these videos and she was talking to a real Japanese young man and they were having a conversation and he would say something funny and she would laugh in a very natural way. There wasn't like that weird time gap between what he said and what she said afterwards. It seemed very natural, but she's a cartoon-looking character, so it's a very interesting thing. But you can imagine there's someone sitting right off camera with all the motion capture stuff, but on screen, it looks like it's a real live cartoon having a conversation.
Okay, now what I'm not sure about is if this is a recording video that they can edit later, or whether this is a live stream.
It seemed live.
It seemed live. Yeah. Wow, there you go. So that's even more impressive. And we also learn about Kizuna AI. This teenage girl has 3 million followers.
Wow.
It's a big chunk of YouTube people who follow, who subscribe, some of whom maybe send them money or certainly allow the creator to make money from YouTube if you've got that many followers.
That's right. And obviously it was an international group of followers because they had English subtitles for the whole conversation. So there you go. It says people who enjoy watching anime can't resist the charm of VTubers. Absolutely. And anime has an international following too. People all over the world love these Japanese style cartoons and things like that. So if you love the Japanese style cartoons, anime, you can't resist the charm of VTubers. It's like your anime characters have come to life. Basically anime, yes, Japanese style animations and cartoons. Of course, we use the word manga for the comic books, anime for the TV shows and films and things like that.
That's right. And if you like anime, if you like that kind of drawing and characters and the way they look, you won't be able to resist this kind of VTuber. To resist means to be able to kind of fight off or not be influenced by. You won't give in to that thing's temptations, you won't be affected by what it does. So if you can't resist their charm, that means, wow, I just really love their charm, I want to get involved with it. I'm going to let this thing influence me. For example, we could also say, Julie has a sweet tooth, so she can't resist the smell of freshly baked cookies. She loves sweet things, so if she smells a fresh cookie, she's gonna get one and eat it.
I'm on a diet, but I'll just have one. All right, let's talk about this word charm as well. And yes, charm is something that we find in people or even characters from stories and cartoons that we just like these people. There's something about them. They could be beautiful or handsome or attractive in some kind of way, but it kind of also comes out through their personality, through the kind of person they are. They're very friendly, they smile at us, they seem interested in what we're talking about. You just meet someone and after 5 minutes you kind of go, I like this person. They have a lot of charm. They have a lot of charisma, C-H-A-R-I-S-M-A. It's another word we often use. So when we think of, certain characters from films, movie stars, famous people, actors often have a lot of charm. Politicians sometimes are good at using their charm. Something about them just makes you want to like them. For example, I may not like the clothes that pop star wears, but I have to admit, he has a lot of charm. So he's got weird clothes, but I still kind of like him.
Yep, he's got a lot of charm, as have these VTubers, and as the article says, that's why they have become popular in recent years.
Sure, absolutely. If someone's going to become popular, they probably have charm in some kind of way. And it says audiences are drawn to their extreme personalities, and they often have exciting backstories. Okay, so there's something charming about them. We can also use charm in an adjective kind of way and say something or a person is charming. They have extreme personalities, so they're very interesting, and they're not probably quite like normal people, right?
Yeah.
Fictional characters are always even more evil or dangerous or even more good and noble or pure than people really are in real life. So they have these extreme personalities, like a lot of characters from fiction, stories, and film. And of course, since you can make up their story, they have exciting backstories. stories. They have a really interesting history because, they're not real people. We don't have to learn about how boring they were in high school or something like that. They were always amazing. That's why people are drawn to them. If you're drawn to something, you're attracted by that thing. There's something about it that kind of pulls you in, pulls in your interest or your friendship or something like that. We can be drawn to people, for example, if they have charm, but you could also be drawn to something through other means. The smell of something delicious cooking might draw you to the kitchen. Or if you see an interesting picture, a painting, you might be drawn to walk closer and look at it a little bit more intently, a little bit more with more concentration. There's just something that's pulling you towards it, pulling you in. And great characters, interesting people, lots of things that we like in our lives that attract us, we will be drawn to those things.
Yeah, we're going to look a little more tomorrow about the appeal of VTubers, meet a few more examples. Cool. However, that's all the time we've got for today's lesson, so let's jump straight into our For You chat.
For You chat.
So our question is, what kinds of online videos do you watch? Who are your favorite internet personalities to watch?
Interesting. I guess I kind of watch videos based on, things that I'm interested in.
Sure.
So I'll watch some about the news that's going on that day. I like to watch some cooking videos, some comedy videos, maybe something about some new computer games or something, books that I might want to read.
Books is a good one, yeah.
Things like that. So I think like a lot of people, also music, right? Have to watch some new music videos if they look interesting or if I like the songs or the artists. So, I watch videos based on my hobbies, my pastimes, my interests, and also a little bit of news, which is, good for the brain.
Any personalities, any YouTubers you follow?
I guess not really YouTubers. There's a few people who, the cooking that they do I like, or also I know that their videos aren't more than 10 minutes long, so maybe I might watch them just because they're a little bit easier to watch in a short period of time. If it's a 25-minute video on anything, I probably won't watch it.
Okay.
Just because it's a bit long.
I've got into watching a lot of what they're called kind of booktubers.
Okay.
People talking about reviewing books.
Yeah.
And there are some that really get into a lot of detail, really analyzing some of the books that I like. But also talking about how to write, which is useful to my other careers. So people like A Critical Dragon are pretty cool. Ruth and Bad, a guy from Sri Lanka who's analyzing a favorite book series of mine, is pretty fun. And I do, if you watched us a couple of months ago, you'll have seen that I'm a bit of a wrestling fan. So I do like the Wrestling Bios and the OSW Review YouTube channels. They're great for wrestling fans.
Really?
Check them out.
Okay.
But that's all the time we've got right now. Join us again tomorrow for more on VTubers. See you then. Bye for now.
Take care.
Vocabulary Review. Platform. My Samsung phone runs on a different platform than your Apple phone. Variety. I like any ice cream variety without chocolate in it. Character. My favorite character in the book I'm reading is a ghost who only scares bad kids. Interact. During the party last night, Ben only interacted with his friends and didn't talk with anyone else. Resist. I need to lose weight, so I have to resist eating foods with lots of sugar. Charm. Jane has great charm with her warm smile and fun teaching style, so every student loves her classes.
智慧小补帖
Virtual. Animated. Outfit. Anime.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net。